Good morning, we're live. How's everyone going? Have we had a look at how the races did overnight? I'm just having a look now. I thought this was interesting. I think we're pretty much done with the rogaine stuff now, so I'm going to have to let that go at some stage. But we had one team here, Commander Foursquare, team number 59. Lose 5 hours on the rogaine. So that's, you can lose a lot of time in a very short space of distance compared to some of these long legs where everyone's going much the same direction at a relatively similar pace. Maybe you lose 5 hours over the course of a day, but losing 5 hours just instantaneously when you really lose it's pretty tough. Let's see if there's any more nice pictures coming through. No, we're after GODZone. Lovely picture of Scott chowing down. Looks like Scott. So the weather's looking good today. Here's a team here. Clearly been shopping on Grassy Knoll Outdoor. Wearing my gaiters, very good. Wearing my O-pants as well. Good guys, not their first rodeo. Thank you for being customers of mine. Let's take a look at the course. So of course this was the great rogaine that we all loved. Then they had a fairly easy ride, and then they've got this big PACKRAFT. So firstly, first half is probably largely on trails, second half in the stream, and then they've got this huge trek which is going to destroy many people. That's just beastie. But let's drill down into the PACKRAFT, because there's another interesting dimension here which I would like to get some confirmation on. I want to see if there's dark zones. I'm sure there'll be a dark zone on the river. You're not to be paddling on the river. Yep, this river is dark zone, no paddling at night, but teams have the option to keep walking if they think that's a good idea. So we will get onto the topo map, which I've managed to lose. Why did I close that down? Coming. So you can see that there's this trail from the start of the PACKRAFT. They're kind of in the bush, but then they get onto a trail, following the trail along the ridge lines and then down into the valley, and then they're still on the trail actually. And so what we're seeing is the teams Avea so far looked like they were staying on. It was too hard to tell where they were, but they've clearly stopped. Oh, Avea there. I think they're in the river. Okay, GPS just disappears. How do they get? So Avea here, and then we just lose contact with them for a little while, but they will have to jump into the river at this stage. And by the looks of the gap they've opened up, the Mohaka is moving pretty well. And we have iSport here at the transition. So this is the point that's interesting, because the time at which you get here really determines how you have to handle this leg. If you're only getting there just as as it becomes nighttime, then you're really missing out on a lot of ground unless you want to walk, but there isn't really a good option to walk in this second part of the river. Jumping across to the topo, this is what it looks like here. You've really got to be in the pack raft or resting. So for example, if a team makes it to this more gorgy part where there's no way to walk at, say, midday, then they've got the whole afternoon to make good progress down the stream, and then once it gets dark, they've got to pop off, camp out in the bush, and then get back on the stream at nighttime. Whereas if someone else gets there earlier in the day, then they might be able to get off the river in the afternoon, and then make their way into the trek, and then it's dark, or they can keep going. They don't have to hunker down overnight like someone who was stuck on the water might. And so this isn't always an advantage to the team ahead. It looks like it has been a big advantage to Avea at this stage. They got off the water. It's just so Avea yeah. So they left TA6 10 hours ago. So they managed to get off. So they're making progress well, they've had a rest. They've clearly had a rest here. 6 hours ago they had a sleep. Maybe 2 hours. 2:15. I think they've had a 4-hour sleep actually, so they've actually had a rest anyway. But you can see that they've had less of a rest than some other people who were just waiting at TA4 because they couldn't get onto the water because it was dark. So you've now got these other guys just piling up together because they can't get out into the water. So yeah, it seems a bit stink that the advantage they've built up is now lost, but they've had more time to rest. So they've converted some of that time advantage into rest advantage. And we have iSport, Tiki Tour, and Razor's Edge that have really been moving through the pack. Good stuff, guys. And Ataraxia, who I think have slipped down just one place. And we've got this, let's call it the third pack here, people starting the trek up the hill. You've got Machueka, Nutrient Rescue, Victory Vets, and we've got a big sneaky weasel gang who I'm expecting these guys to get amongst, but they have slid back a little bit. They've had a big rest at TA5, so I hope Sneaky Weasel Gang are feeling fresh. Let's have a look at where they So we're just following tracker number 34 backwards. I'm interested to know where they lost the time. They were further up. So they're firmly in the second pack at the start of the Rogaine. I mean, they were at the front of the mid second pack. In the mix here. I mean, here's here's Ataraxia and... Oh, yeah, so I think Ataraxia, I think I don't really trust that GPS, but you've got Avea out front here. And you've got Sneaky Weasel Gang right in the mix of that second pack here. Really interested to see what's happened to those guys. I mean, they've already been caught up by a bunch. They're just kind of dwindling behind those few names that are past it. Looks like they went backwards there for a bit, weren't moving. Maybe they had some navigation troubles. And so they've lost a little bit of ground in the Rogaine. And then they rested maybe a little bit longer. Doesn't seem to be any... They seem to stay there for a little bit at checkpoint 19. They're losing a bit of ground on the bike. And then they're staying at TA5 for, again, a little bit longer than some of these other teams. So, yeah, it's no obvious cause why Sneaky Weasel Gang have drifted behind. I hope they're well rested though. So up with the PACKRAFT. This is as of 6 hours ago. We've got iSport, Tiki Tour and Racer's Edge waiting overnight. We've got Ataraxia coming down the valley. We've got Mochueka, Nutrient Rescue and Victory Vets all on the trail. Sneaky Weasel Gang and Radix Nutrition all on the trail. This is 6 hours ago. And you can see how these guys are just stuck resting. They have no choice, and looks like Ataraxia have had a big rest. They're saying they're tired. They need to rest the legs, rest the eyes, rest the brain. So we now have Out for the View and Ataraxia together, assuming that the GPS has just missed a few beats and they're further down. We'll wait to see later in the day. But that would be nice for them to have a good rest. But they've got to get on this water. Now that it's daylight, you've got Racer's Edge and iSport who are out on the water. Racer's Edge have really just pulled so many places in the last day and a half. It's incredible. And Avea are just so far in front now. So like, to barring a big technical issue, this is all theirs. Too much strength, too experienced, too fit, and also slightly lucky to get off the water in time. Great coffee. Yeah, let's stop being so biased towards the front of the field. Let's take a look further back to see if there's anything interesting. Oh, this is an interesting one. I've had some. So 44. Look, I don't know what their GPS is up to there. I'm following team number 44 there from checkpoint 16, the Rogaine Lake. Also team number 5 is interesting here. Beyond Fitness. They seem to be, maybe they're just resting out there, but they've floated past checkpoint 16, but not by as much as team 44. And they've got a little black mark, so these guys. Oh yeah, I recognize some names in here. I think so. And they've obviously missed part of a previous stage. Wonder if we can figure out what happened. Yeah, let's pay some attention to some of these guys as well. 44, what happened, guys? Team info. It'd be really cool if there was a way to get info on these guys. News. No news. Great photos though. They're just getting unranked, but I'm not quite sure why. Anyway, I hope all the team members are okay. You know, sometimes one team member has to pull out and you finish with 3 and you end up being unranked. But let's just delve into... Looks like they had a hard time in the navigation, if that's really what's happening. I mean, that's way off course. Follow the river down. Still following that river. Or is this some kind of... That's not the short course, is it? I mean, I'm not sure where the short course... I assume the short... So that eventually there'll be people who are not going to complete the whole thing, so there's a short course option. Joseph, if you're listening, do you want to set up one of these with the short course option in here? I assumed it would be something like just continuing the bike all the way down to here, or just biking straight across to there. I mean, that would be an obvious cutoff to do. That seems like taking the river down here doesn't seem like the biggest cutoff. So I'm looking for an explanation as to why Team 44 are hanging out in the river. And no, they definitely came from TA3. Oh boy. Oh boy. So they seem to kind of know where they were at that stage. Like maybe they just got themselves so far off that they just bailed on the Rogaine because they found the massive river. Oh, that's a nightmare if they did. Let's have another look. 26 seems to be off course, but no, I think they're just taking that route choice from this control point here round to this control point and missing these two as they're allowed to. 26, where do they head off to? No, this is interesting. I think we found another little nugget here. Oh, too many tails to follow here, but let's just wind the clock back a little bit. So we're following team number 26 from checkpoint 16 there. Reminder, this is what it looks like. We always get distracted by this Rogaine. It's by far the most interesting part. So there's a team coming from... Why did I delete the tabs from yesterday? The useful tabs. I don't know why I've deleted that other map tab. Oh well, we'll just use this. So there was a team 26 that were at the top of this hill up here. I first mentioned that I thought they were just cutting across, but then I noticed that they were back down here. So I think what they've done is they're supposed to be coming up the spur and they've just horribly overshot. Oh dear, let us have a closer look. Again, I've got such a distrust for these little GPS dots. So we're following team number 26 here. TAVENDALE and partners. Oh, hey guys. Some good customers of Grassy Knoll Outdoor in there. Thank you guys. That's great. So 26 heading up. So they've got the first control point. And they're just 26s in this bunch here. And yep, they're heading up. They've got that B, I think it would be 26, and then they've gone, looks like they've kind of gone down to the river based on the little grey line, which I don't know if you can see. I don't know if the streaming resolution's good enough that you can. I'd zoom in more if I could. I can kind of show you this way, then you don't really get the full height. Oh, here's another way. I can zoom in more. So yeah, maybe we should use this one more often. I can't zoom in any further on with this. See, it pushes me back out. So yeah, oh yeah, interesting. So I wonder if I can just highlight one team. 26. Poor guys, I'm picking on them. Come on, where is 26? Am I blind? Hey, great that an Australian team came out. Oh, 26, here we go. I need to focus on these guys. That was a bad idea. Sorry guys, I'm trying to make this as viewable as possible. Okay, so now if I go to favorites, there we go. Okay, so we're just focusing on 26, so whack on the long tails. Yes, see that? I mean, okay, so now that there's clearly a better way to communicate this. That is interesting. That is not ideal. That is a full loop-the-loop of this beautiful hill. So maybe they just really lost the plot and wanted to get back to somewhere they knew and start again. I don't know. They got the first two okay, went down to the stream, and I don't know. Did they think they were heading up here to B and they were actually heading back up the same hill? Oh, surely not. Very different direction. But that will cost them some time and be quite frustrating. But they haven't got E. They've gone with my suggestion to go down the river. Okay, and it looks like maybe they got those two or missed H over here. Okay, but they're through. They're through. Oof. We want to go all teams. See what happened to other team favorites. So there's also 44 that year. They ended up going down the river. Really don't know how to explain that. Unfortunate if true. And 33 as well. Okay, so yeah, there's two teams doing it, it seems. Man, I don't know. Both unranked teams. I don't know. So let's drill down on 33 as well. Not picking on them. It's very interesting. I mean, everyone else is just doing the same thing. So we've got to find the interesting ones that are up to some different antics. Okay, so we're following team number 33. They look like they've got... Follow these guys. Follow favorites. Okay, following 33. It looks like they got checkpoint 16 okay. And then they stayed the course down the river. Is this out of choice? Seems very deliberate. Unless they just totally missed 16. Oh. They did not miss 16. So or maybe they almost missed 16, but then they got it. Nice, good save. They went up to this control point up here on the hill. I don't know if they got that. Don't know if they got that. And then looks like they just bailed out. Night nav, not for them. Very tricky. And now they're following the stream down. Which has the trail. I get it. Yeah, okay, sorry, I should have been looking at this guy. So there's a trail that they're following. I guess they bailed out of this very tricky navigation and were just on the trail and thought they just better get on with it and forfeit that leg. That's my guess. It doesn't seem to be... Yeah, I couldn't find any... This did not crop up in the news earlier. The news is focusing on just nice pitches or the top teams. That's the official news. Oh man, they're really following the trail out, but it looks like they know where they are. Oh, yeah, because they're trying to get to TA4. Interesting. So there was a bit of carnage on the rogaine. Good stuff. Great that the organizers put in a rogaine. And yep, so that's cool. That's cool. I will tune back in at 8 p.m. tonight, and we'll take a look at these victims on the long river. Of my favorites. This is the current situation. Avea out in front. Pack 2 of Racer's Edge, who've been moving up quite a lot. Iceboard, who have been at the front the whole time. Motueka, who have been pretty steady, moving up. And Tikitua, who won GODZone a few years ago and always strong. And we've got Ataraxia and Out for the View. And I'm not sure exactly if Ataraxia, they were resting here for a bit, or was the GPS stopped, not sure. We'll pay close attention to whether they were close up in this chasing pack. This is pack 2.5. And then we've got the third bunch all up here on the hills. Sneaky Weasel Gang, Victory Vets, Nutrient Rescue, and Relics Nutrition. Wild Dogs just punched checkpoint 23. Dot Civil, Jabberwock, and Rat Pack. Haven't followed these guys. Oh, nice. Sweet. Yeah, there's some experience in here. They're doing well. Cool. See you guys. Hope you have a wonderful Monday.